Okay, we good, we good. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. What's good, people? Kia ora, welcome, and yes, I know I have been slacking with the uploads, but in my defense, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption. Okay, and for me it's just been straight up. It's been work, Red Dead, and sleep. In that order, for like ages, for like weeks. Like all I've been thinking is just Red Dead, Red Dead, Red Dead. You know, and I've been trying to explore as much as I could. I tried to do as many stranger missions as I could. I wanted to, you know, just make sure that I was able to experience everything that the game had to offer, you know, especially the random encounters. I wanted to, you know, that's why I tried not to use any, like, fast travel, because I wanted to ride and then see if the world does anything, or if there are random people that come to you and talk to you, or try and steal money from you, or if they, like, you know, come and rob you, which has happened a few times. I've just been riding, and the next thing you know, someone's like, yo, hold up there, stop, and they'll like have like this sort of thing at the bridge where you go up to like a random bridge and then there's like a wagon and a bunch of guys on horses standing there waiting for you. It's like crazy. It's pretty cool actually. But yeah, so I've just finished it. I think, what was it? Sunday? No, it might have been Saturday actually. Shit. Yeah. So I finished it a couple of days ago, but I thought I'd just make this review. I don't know how long this is going to be. This will be a spoiler. So if you haven't played the game, or if you haven't finished the game already, you know, it's probably best to like maybe stop watching the video. But before we start, that's right. I went out and bought me a cheapo. I went to the Asian shop and bought me a cowboy hat, you know, for the occasion. But anyways, on to the review. Now, first off, I think, look, I've got my notes here. I'll just be rambling and shit. I don't really know how to do reviews. But first off, look, I think for me, right, the game, I didn't mind the game. Forget that happened. Just so, I think that's one of my sisters with their speaker, or, you know, wireless speaker. Anyways, but yeah, for me, right, I played the game. I liked the main protagonist. I liked how he changed. You know, I liked the voice actor who played as Arthur. I liked his story. I was interested to know like who this person was, because Arthur was never mentioned in Redemption 1. So I was interested to see who this Morgan was, and who the other additional characters were, because they added new characters like Sadie, Tilly, Mrs. Grimshaw. You know, there's like a whole other additional characters that just sort of popped up, and it's like, hey, these people weren't in, you know, or at least that's what I thought. I was like, hey, hold on, these people weren't a part of the gang, were they? Because they were never mentioned. None of them were. Or John never mentioned none of them, and didn't mention Sadie or Charles or anyone. It's like, you know, so I think that's one of the things is that I think you sort of like, you can tell that, okay, so when Rockstar was making Redemption 1, you could tell, okay, they didn't write, or they didn't, you know, that Arthur Morgan didn't exist. Arthur didn't exist. Hosea, Charles, Sadie, you know, none of them, those characters came after Redemption 1. So, and you could really tell, because it just sort of, like, all of these characters are never mentioned in the first one, and it's just sort of like, okay, so all of these characters were just written for this sequel/prequel to Redemption 1. But for me, I mean, look, as a standalone game, I definitely liked it as a standalone, but as a prequel, I was like, I don't know, it was kind of like, like, you know, because Look, you could tell that they tried to fit it in, especially with those prologue endings. Rockstar tried to sort of make Redemption 2 and Redemption 1 sort of fit together, sort of quite nicely, but I think for me, it just, as a standalone Redemption 1, I think worked quite well. I liked it, but as a prequel, because this is a game that's sort of leading into Redemption 1, and I was like, I don't know, they could have done the ending a bit better. I didn't personally like the epilogue. Bro, I think for me, man, the epilogue, like, it was such a slow pace, the epilogue. And just hammering nails, milking cows, doing the fence, I'm just like, I don't know, it really slowed, like the pacing slowed right down, and to the point where, look, I'm going to be honest, I damn near put the controller down. Like, straight up, that epilogue was grueling for me. I'm just like, dude, when are we going to, kill Micah, or where's this going? Are we going to find Micah, or what? Like, I just wanted it to hurry up and just get the epilogue over and done with. Like, when the game was leading up to the epilogue, it was fine. Like, I didn't mind playing as Arthur. I got the ending. I got the High Honor ending. So, I got the High Honor ending. So that means so I helped John escape. I went to the mountain and I died peacefully on the mountain. So I didn't get shot by Micah, because I think Micah went his own way. Dutch went his own way. And then I was just sort of left to slowly die on the mountain, which I mean, I was quite sad, but it didn't bring me to tears or anything. But but I enjoyed the ending. I was like, okay, no, that's pretty cool. He tried to help John. He tried to help his other gang members in that. He threw out Strauss, and that was out of it. But no, I mean, in terms of story and that, as a standalone, it's great. As a prequel, I don't know, because these characters are just dropped. They never mentioned in the first one. They just dropped. Sadie, Charles, Arthur, Tilly, Mrs. Grimshaw, all of these characters, they just dropped like they never existed, and I think that's what kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That's just me, but whatever. For me, look, the voice acting is great overall, not just Arthur, but Dutch, Micah, John, Abigail, Tilly, Pearson, all of these characters, and even the side characters, and the stranger missions where you find some sort of crazy looking crazy speaking sort of characters. There's this one priest that was in the river that would say some random shit. I'm just like, dude, I don't know. Don't touch me. So there's a lot of so many different characters, so many different voice acting. It's crazy. It's crazy how much detail that they've put into just characters and that. And each person that you come across seem to be a different, seem to have a different personality, a different name, a different character, different everything. It's cool. It's great. It's like trippy as. The one thing though, okay, for me, is those controls. Okay, that's something that I really want to sort of touch up on this review / opinion piece, whatever you want to call it. In terms of like exploring, I thought the controls were fine, but when it comes to conflict, like when you're fighting, shooting, all of that type of shit, that's when I feel the controls really feel heavy, and it feels like you're like walking through water and shit. I did not like the cover system, because there are bits in the game where the cover system just doesn't work, or Arthur sort of isn't too sure if he wants to take cover or not, even though I pressed R1. I'm like, dude, get into cover. And he's like, well, yeah, I guess. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, just duck under cover, go into the cover, dude. But he's like, yeah, well, maybe I'm like, to hurry up and do what... So there's that cover system, the shooting mechanics. I was playing free aim. Yeah. Redemption 2, in my opinion, has the worst free aim controls I have ever played. Like for instance, take Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4's free aim, I thought was great, right? Even though Uncharted 4, by default, it has auto lock-on aim, like, turned on by default. But you can go into settings and disable that lock-on feature. And, dude, the controls are still nice. They're still responsive. You can aim properly, shoot properly. And for me, I played Uncharted 4 on hardest difficulty, free aim. Dude, the game is great. I thought it was a great balance. The aiming wasn't too jittery, or, the settings were pretty much quite right. I think I tweaked them a little bit, but overall, the free aim in Uncharted 4 is great. But in this game, this one right here, dude, the aiming is like, dude, you take away the auto aim, the aiming is just shit. It's complete shit, and I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? Why is the free aim so terrible? And throughout the entire game, I was always in settings trying to find that sweet spot, but I just couldn't find it. Even all the way through to the ending, through to the epilogue, I still felt I wasn't satisfied with the aiming. I don't know, like, I was constantly in and out of settings, trying to do the sliders and trying to get that sweet spot where it's like, where I'm aiming, but I just couldn't, I don't know, I was having a very hard time trying to find that sweet spot for the free aim. And to be honest, I believe that Red Dead Redemption 2 was made for auto aim. Like, this game here was made to be played with auto aim, lock on aim. Straight up, like, that's how it's been made, that's how you're supposed to play it. That's how I feel. But me as a free aim player, because I want to get those headshots myself and I want to shoot myself, I just felt that it sort of let me down, as well as the controls are just crazy. I didn't like them. And for me, I still think, with all of the games that I've played, open world games that I've played this generation, I still think Watch Dogs has the best third-person open world controls, in my opinion. Okay, you can say what you will about the graphics and all of that, blah blah. Okay, fine, that's fine. But for me, the controls, those mechanics in Watch Dogs 2, being able to go into cover, vault over cover, free running, being able to climb over shit, and shooting while at the same time, and going into cover and popping out of cover. Dude, Watch Dogs mechanics, it's the best. Like, I felt so smooth, everything's felt so smooth and flowy. But this game, dude, it still feels like Arthur's a little bit heavy, and he feels a bit, I'm not like, I understand that Rockstar's trying to make it realistic, but excuse me, but for me, I just feel like it just, like, it's not responsive enough. Like, I tell Arthur to go into cover, and he's like, well, I get, like, he's like, I'm like, dude, just get into cover, please. Like, I don't know, dude. So I had a hard time with the cover system. The shooting mechanics were fine. Like, cocking the gun, that's fine. Like, I don't mind shooting and then having to press the R2 button again to, pull back the hammer, or whatever you call it, and then press R2 again to fire. That's cool. And I wish that more games had that mechanic. But for me, it was just running, jumping over shit, trying to get into cover, trying to get in between the trees and trying to cover by the trees. It just wouldn't respond and shit, and it would piss me off. Shooting while on horseback is a complete and utter just mess. It's a shit show, and free aim, playing this game in free aim is terrible, and I think maybe that's might be one of the reasons why I, it definitely isn't my game of the year. Definitely not. So I guess for me, I guess I'd recommend using auto lock aim to play Red Dead Redemption 2, because their free aim is just not there. It's rubbish, complete and utter rubbish. So that's the controls. Excuse me, I'm a little bit sick, so and a bit of a stuffy nose, so that's why I'm sounding a bit weird. But yeah, another thing that I didn't like about is the wanted system. Now, there have been many times where I was doing nothing, I was just riding. Next thing you know, some people come, they start shooting at me, and for me in self-defense, I'm like, okay, well, you're going to shoot at me, I'm going to shoot at you. So then I grabbed out my Lanchester repeater, started popping these fellas, pow, pow, and in the top right-hand corner, I get wanted. It says wanted Arthur Morgan, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, wait, well, why am I being wanted? They shot at me first, and they clearly did, because I done nothing. I was unarmed, I was riding my horse, then I got shot at, and then I just started, and I wasn't doing anything. But the law started chasing me, so I had to pretty much run away. And for me, I think the best thing to do and then if you start shooting at the law enforcement, you end up getting negative honour. So instead of getting positive honour for shooting law enforcement, and that you end up getting negative honour and shit like that. So really, the best thing to do is just run away, or if you're on horse, just start riding away, because if you try and defend yourself, you'll end up getting low honour, so your honour meter will start going down, and it's like, oh man, but I'm defending myself, I didn't do anything wrong, and shit like that. So stuff like that, I don't know, I did not like the wanted system. I think the wanted system is broken, but that's just me. I could be wrong, but in my experience, the wanted system, reporting a crime, like for instance, some people were trying to rob me, I shot at them, I started looting them. Next thing you know, a witness comes over and he says like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go tell the law. And I'm like, well, hold on, dude, like, I was defending myself, these people are criminals, I'm just looting them. But a witness saw me and now they're off gone. I'm just like, oh man, ratchet, I didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, so that's a wanted system. I think that's it, dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I went through a bit of the story. Yeah, as I said before, I did not like the epilogue, and that ending was like, it just ended. Because at the end, you go see Micah, you visit Micah, and it turns out that Dutch was there too, and I think from what I understand, Dutch visited Micah as well, like, Dutch and Micah weren't together. From what I understand, I think Micah just happened to be there, and Dutch was there too, or he came looking for Micah, because I think John asked Dutch, what are you doing here? And Dutch says, I guess the same thing you're here. Like, or the same reason you're here, John. And I'm just like, oh, so you weren't here with Micah? Or yeah, that's what I sort of got, but yeah. So at the end, right, you got Micah and them. Dutch is there, he's there, sort of there. John's there, Sadie's there. Dutch shoots Micah, you get a few shots at him, which was cool. And he has this epic death where he turns around, walks away, and then falls over. That's cool. I like that. Like, yeah, I like that death scene. But yeah, and then Dutch just goes off. He does his own thing, and then John goes back, right? So then they ride off. Sadie's there, Charles. They all ride off back to Beecher's Hope. They get off their horse, and then it finishes, and then credits. And I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, I guess that's the end. You know, I don't know. I thought it kind of ended kind of quickly and sort of abruptly, just be like, okay, boom. And I'm just like, oh. And then throughout the credits, you see these little credit scenes where you got the Pinkertons, or the law, I should say, sort of, they're coming closer and closer, and they end up finding the barn and that, and it's like, oh, okay. And then Charles leaves. Because he was going to have a family and have his own ranch and that, so he done that. And then Sadie said that she wanted to leave to another place, and I guess that's what she done. So she left Beecher's Hope, and Uncle's there and whatever. So yeah, so even the credits had some sort of scenes in there that sort of patched up some holes, I guess, and then tried to, you know, have it sort of line up with the beginning of Redemption 1. But I was wanting to know the law, though. I was wanting to see the law come, John having to be a rat. You know, because as we all know, John ends up tattling, and then he has to go and find Dutch and Bill and you know, and Harviera Squaler. I think that's ratchet as. Like, them Western accents, geez, they've crack up as. Harviera Squaler. That's crack up. I think that's funny, man. But yeah. No, I mean, overall, a damn good game. A bloody damn good game. You know, the storyline is meaty as, with some characters that you care about, some good storyline, some good dialogue. My favourite storyline was definitely Rain's Fall. Rain's Fall and Eagle Flies, their storyline. I thought that was my favourite. That was definitely my favourite storyline out of the sort of side storylines, I guess. The Stranger missions were crack up. Some of them were funny as. You get robbed, you get kidnapped and shit, and shit like that. Like, some of them are really clever. But yeah, great pacing. It's just that epilogue, dude. I was like I started to fall asleep. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I'm like, ugh. Like, I really felt like I was just going to drop the controls. Like, I was nearly done through that epilogue, especially part 1. I was like, dude, when is this going to be over? Can we just skip to part 2? Like, where's this going? I don't know. It felt slow, the epilogue. But before that, from the beginning right to Arthur's death, I thought was great pacing, great everything. Great stories, shit like that. But that epilogue bit, dude, that turned me off. I don't know how you fellas feel, but dude, that was me. I was about to turn that shit off. I'm like, man, I don't know how long I can do this epilogue. That's just me though. It's hot. But yeah, that's it. That's me, people. I'll try and upload some more stuff, but I don't know when that'll be, and work's nearly finished. I've got like 1 more week left, so it's got to be good. But yeah, anyways, that's me. I'll catch you fellas up in my next video. Peace.